What did a friend do that instantly turned you on? Before we start with the first story, please hit subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Story 1. She changed her clothes in front of me while casually talking. Man, I had a friend that I met after me and my girlfriend broke up. I was super into her, but was too dumb to notice the signs. We played beer pong at my dad's house one night, and looking back, she was throwing out signals. One day, we were alone at her house, and she was showing me outfits she was considering wearing later that night. Literally changing right in front of me. Why the I didn't realize what she was doing, I'll never know. Story 2. I was 17 and was best friends with a college girl in town that I had met through my brother's then fiance. We were chilling late as one night, and we wrapped up a movie and was getting her stuff together since she had work in the morning. She stopped me and said, "What if I just stay?" The way she looked at me when she said it sealed my fate forever, lol. I married that woman and we now have 2 beautiful little kids. Story 3. I had a really good friend in grad school. We would talk, ride motorcycles, go to local fairs, hang out, and just generally have fun. She was very pretty, but I never thought of her in a romantic or way. She was taking belly dancing lessons and decided to give me a quick sample while we were at the library. I was instantly turned on and couldn't think of her in any other way after that. Story 4. I had been talking to a girl on Snapchat and eventually decided to hang out one day. We planned on a little beach trip just to get to know each other. She is from the next state over. She was so attractive that 4 of my 5 best friends insisted I was being catfished. She got to my house and saw my old 92 F-150 that I was building. I had just gotten some lockers installed and was working on putting the axles back in. She knew what everything meant and offered to help me put it back together. So, instead of going to the beach, she helped, actually helped me get my truck put back together. My neighbor came over and said they were boiling crawfish and offered some. She went and got crawfish, sat under my truck with me, peeled and fed them to me one by one. She literally moved in the next weekend and we have been inseparable ever since. Now married with 2 beautiful babies. Story 5. I knew a chick who was family, like a sister. No genetics, just close friend, chosen family type of thing. She was studying to become a masseuse and asked to practice giving me a shoulder rub. Just me sitting on the floor, shirt on, her sitting above back on a couch and just rubbing the shoulders. Obviously she had studied well, because what should have been innocent, she did a deep dig into my stressed out shoulders and boing, instant boner. Like it went up full on in 1 second, like a magic trigger was hit. This girl was completely like a sister, so this was horrifying, not funny. I tried to hide it, but she spotted it and ran off and we never spoke of it. It was forever awkward ever since. Story 6. Whole group of friends was going to gather at a friend's house to meet up after Christmas break. We were all in the same semester of uni. She walks in, sees me and sprints at me from across the room saying my name. She then jumps onto me, throwing me back on the couch, holding me tight and giving a little kiss on the cheek saying she missed me. I was just stunned looking at my friends while patting her on the back. She was a little 5-foot freak and quite attractive. Story 7. We went to a 10 km jog run and we both were out of breath. January 2017. We both had no smartwatches that time. I dropped her at her rented house. She was staying with her friend, who was not there, and she suddenly asked, "Hey, do you want to listen to how fast my heart is beating? You can put your ear." And then she put my ear face close to her heart area. Don't know about her heart, but my heart probably crossed highest BPM that day. Extremely attractive lady, so I always thought way out of my league. We were quite good friends though, therefore I never took the hints properly. Never paid much attention to the incident after that. June 2022, after 5 years, her ex-roommate told me she, my jogging friend, was interested in me in 617. Somehow, I missed all the hints. Story 8. My BF was one of my best friends before we started dating. We were in a huge friend group at our school. I've always found him attractive, but I was convinced he only was interested in being friends. Because he'd said he never had a GF or fallen in love and always turned down girls trying to flirt with him, so I didn't think I had a chance. But back when we were just friends, the thing that got me on was when one time at one of our friends' house, we were play fighting. Because that's what we did, we got a little carried away and I didn't even think about it. But I got on top of him and accidentally felt it. And I don't know why, but I couldn't believe he was a virgin with that size of his. I froze because I was shocked and embarrassed, but he just gave me this really teasing look. And from that night on, it was never the same. We've been together for 1.5 years now. Story 9. girlfriend, not a friend, but thought I'd share anyway. We were on a trip together, and I had shaved that morning and nicked a small part of my nostril. It scabbed up, but if I would smile a bunch and laugh throughout the day, it would crack open and bleed. Not a lot, but enough to slowly drip down my face, sometimes without me feeling it. So we're sitting at the bar, making each other laugh a bunch, and out of the blue she grabs my face and pulls me towards her. Says, "You're bleeding a little," and proceeds to just lick the blood off of my face and then kiss the tip of my nose. This took me off guard and really just blew me away. We had a really strong connection before that, but her doing that just added so much more to it. We had a really good time later that night. LOL. Story 10. My now boyfriend and future husband, no ring yet, good things take time, instantly turned me on when we met up for some food after not talking for years. We were great friends when we were younger, but we fell out of talking because I was in a very toxic relationship. Once I broke up with my ex, I reached out to him as well as all of our other friends. They were all a very, very important part of my life, so I needed them back in my life after so long. So we met up to chat and eat, but when I was waiting for him, I was expecting him to come to his car. I was so nervous. Suddenly, I saw someone pull up on a motorcycle. I've always loved motorcycles, and he came in on a sweet-looking sport bike. Instant butterflies, and it made me even more nervous. He even paid for my food that. We've been together for over 7 years, known each other for approximately 15 years, bought a house, and recently adopted 2 void cats. Can't wait to marry this man. Story 11. She's a pretty touchy person. At the pool, she jumped on me in the water from the front. Imagine a piggyback ride, but she's on my chest. And after messing around for a bit, play fighting, she put her arms up and leaned back to float on the water while still having her legs wrapped around my torso. I already kind of liked her and she was quite attractive. The view I had was certainly stimulating for my teenage self. And the position we were in was hot. Edit. Y'all are making me second guess myself. I've been 99% sure she was just like that all this time. Beyond occasional hot moments, she never gave off a vibe of liking me. It seemed like she just enjoyed flirting occasionally. I kind of want to reach out, but we haven't talked in 3-ish years, so it would probably be weird. Met her in 2018, stopped hanging out in 2021-ish. Edit 2. I f*** again then, probably. I still can't tell if she liked me or not back then. The memories are mostly faded beyond a few hangouts and moments. She was touchy with other guys, I'm pretty sure too. Story 12. Recently, like a couple of years ago, at work one would come up behind me, pressed into my back, would put her hands over my eyes and say, "Guess who?" I'd respond with a dumb answer like George Washington, King Kong. Just anything stupid. Then my second answer would be a compliment. She liked me. I liked her. The challenge was, she was a widow who I don't think had gotten over her husband. When the talks got serious, I knew I could never live up to the guy. Little things like we had talked about a possible vacation and a lot of the things she wanted to see were places her husband had taken her to. Way back in the day, I got into a wrestling match with a friend. I was letting her win. She told me that she was going to tell our friends she kicked my ass. I asked if she thought she was really kicking my ass. She said yes. My ego kicked in and I flipped her over. In her struggles to get away, her shirt slid up a few times. Each time I pulled it back down. After a few times, she said F that, meaning if her shirt came up, just let it. We made out some, but no sex. We wrestled a few more times, but they weren't as hot as that first one. Story 13. We were sitting at a cafe. I made an observation or a comment on something and he really seemed to get me. Like, it's hard to explain. But when someone really understands you in a way you have previously felt completely misunderstood in the past. Following that, we would get into really deep conversations, and he was, and is still so super cool, odd, and talented. We even made out once after drinking too much wine, and I was absolutely smitten after that. But then, one day, he said he has a tendency to lose interest really quickly after sleeping with a girl and did not want to risk our friendship. So we never took it further. My insecure side thinks I might not have been conventionally attractive enough, even though he insisted it really wasn't that, and that he thought I am beautiful. Maybe he is emotionally unavailable and knows it. Maybe he has some dark secrets I never found out about. Either way, I didn't hold a grudge or get mad, but it did take a while to move on, accept him as just a friend, which he still is, as he embodies the poster boy for the one in my life that you had to get over, even though you never technically dated. Story 14. After a night out, I had friends staying at mine. We were all sleeping in the lounge, then a friend bent over in front of me with her entire bottom half nude, while most others had passed out. I'd always seen our friendship as platonic, but that one moment had me second-guessing myself. But then, estimated time of arrival. I didn't attempt anything because my rule is never have romantic relations inside, because if it doesn't end well, it makes things a bit weird, awkward in the group. We were very close friends through school, and I didn't want to ruin our friendship over a bit of horny. Edit 2. I've never had loads of friends and struggled keeping friendships most of my life, so that played a part in me not pursuing anything. It was in a bit of a low point in my life also, where I talked down on myself a lot, had really low self-esteem, and just assumed anything nice anyone did was out of pity, which just added to the whole not wanting to ruin a friendship thing. Sure, I'd had feelings for her in the past, specifically during my horny teens, but he's in a great relationship now, engaged with 2 kids, and seems very happy with her life, and we're still good friends. We have different ambitions and life plans, so I don't regret nothing happening between us. Story 15. My wife and I went to the same high school. She's my younger brother's age. We've always been in each other's orbit because we shared a common friend group. My wife was, and still is, conventionally very attractive, and I think every guy girl had a bit of a crush on her. I think I just decided at some point that I enjoyed her company and would never try to make it weird by pursuing more than a friendship. We didn't start dating until college, and it was a long, drawn-out courtship because I was too dumb to realize she was into me. There was a point where I was just starting college, and she had just graduated. It was that point in the summer where kids were throwing wild parties in the woods. This one happened to be right around the corner from my parents' house. I was home from school and too cool for the high school woods party. What I did see, though, was several police starting to investigate why cars were parked all over the road. They were driving back and forth trying to find the entry point for the woods party. So I sent out like 10 texts to my little brother and whoever I suspected was at the party, including my future wife, that the cops were there. So my brother shows up to our house with about 15 people from the party, my wife included. The plan was to just lay low and leave when all the fuss died down. Well, they were all excited that I saved them. They were able to sneak out a back way to the neighborhood. My wife, when she saw me, ran up to me and hugged me. But when she wrapped her arms around my neck, she also did like a body crunch and brought her legs up and wrapped them around me in what was by far the most passionate, platonic hug I've ever gotten. I thought to myself, wow, it would be amazing to date someone like her. 6 months later, she's by pure coincidence at the same university as I am, and she's pissed at me because I'm completely obvious to every hint she's dropped. Because my dumbass thinks she's so far out of my league. To be fair to me, she was and still is very much out of my league. She should be married to a 6 feet 2 inches college quarterback, but she's with me, the less funny and fatter version of Chris Pratt a la Parks and Rec. We've been together 14 years, married for 7. Alright folks, that's a wrap. If you like this, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your thoughts in the comment below.